start? Welcome to March Lunch and Learn. I had to think about the month here for a minute. Where has the time gone this year? I can hardly stand it. You guys are on one of those rat race rolls too, huh? We're next week on Thursday, if you are looking to do a networking event at our park location at 9 a.m., we are going to be reopening the co-working space that has just been remodeled. So we're kind of having a mini celebration. If you want to join us, that's next Thursday, 9 a.m. at our Park Office Center location. That's where our new podcast room is up and running. We're also putting one in next week here. So we will have the podcast room up and running here in a very short time. We've been promising that for a while, but it's actually coming to fruition. Today's Lunch and Learn is with our good friend Nathan Keech. Nate is a member here at Woodbury Office Center, and he's the founder and CEO of Keech Media, a full-service marketing firm with proven process for marketing success. Since 1999, Nate and his team have received over 20 national awards and international awards as well for creative marketing excellence, and some of their work has even been featured on national television spots. You can tell us which ones they are? Maybe. Okay, all right. As a lifelong learner and a former educator, Nate is passionate about helping entrepreneurs and executives avoid making expensive marketing mistakes. And we all know we've been there, right? He has developed proven marketing process that yields an average of 10 to 25% return on investment. Notice that I did bring my pencil and paper too, so I've been here to take some notes. He shares his expertise in various forums and coaching. He's coached business owners on how to succeed in marketing. He's a true brand evangelist because he believes every aspiring business, regardless of size, deserves marketing that works and fits within their budget. Let me please welcome Nate Keech.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out today. Super excited about this topic because it is near and dear to my heart. It is something that I'm very passionate about, and really glad everyone made it out today. And for everyone who's online right now watching this or streaming, seeing this after the fact, welcome as well. I'm Nathan Keech, as Lori has introduced me. And simple next slide, please. First of all, thank you very much, Office Centers, all 7 locations, including here in Woodbury. Thank you for hosting this event today. I know that there's a lot of events that you could be spending your time on, or going to, or doing something over your hours, so I appreciate you coming out here today, and also thank you for the pizza too. For those of you, just a quick plug for Office Centers. I've been here for close to a year now, I think, and they have got some of the best facilities, best accommodations, and best pricing if you're looking for co-working space. See Lori or see someone else afterwards, Lori, whoever afterwards, if you are interested in getting some co-working space, because this is by far one of the best values in the Twin Cities. All right, so getting started. This is a lunch and learn. This is a lunch and learn and not a seminar. So if any of you have questions, please stop me along the way. So this is not just me spitting out 45 minutes worth of information. Please raise your hand. Please interact. Talk. Feel free to interact here. Okay. And then ask questions, or if you want, you have some handouts in front of you. Just write some of those questions down and ask me at the end, because we will have Q&A at the end. Also, you should have received a little info card. This is very valuable for me. So, as I have tried to compile 20 years of my expertise into this presentation today, and share this, obviously, hopefully it has some value to you. The value that I would like to receive back is just a little bit of information about you, and if there's anything that we can reach out to you and help you for at the end. So if you would please hand these in. Just leave them here on the table when you're done before you leave today, okay? Thanks. All right, so quick little background about Keech Media, because I feel that I should give you a little background about us before I actually dive into this. Because at our core, we really believe that every aspiring business, regardless of size, deserves good marketing that works and fits within their budget. The other thing too is how we do this is through a proven process. We have developed a proven process over the 20 years we've been in business that matches the needs of an organization with any number of our sales and marketing solutions. Not just marketing solutions, but sales and marketing solutions. Sales and marketing kind of go hand in hand. And then we also create custom tailored brands, engaging websites, award-winning videos, and other uniquely crafted online marketing. Okay, about the presentation. Why are you guys here today? To learn about branding, right? Now, many people have a lot of different ideas about what branding is, what branding isn't. I'm here today to hopefully hone in on some things that are going to give you some valuable information and about why you should care. The other thing, I've been in business since 1999. I've seen a lot of things over the years. So this isn't just something that I'm getting on a soapbox and kind of talking to you about just because I like branding. It's truly a passion of mine. And it's also something that I feel I'm qualified and do have some expertise in. And why you should care. Most businesses I meet need help. And it starts at the most fundamental stages. And branding is fundamental to every business brand success. All right? All right, so branding by design. Today, if you haven't seen this as kind of the 5 goals or 5 objectives that I was trying to tell everyone today, really quickly, how to identify poor branding efforts, the fundamentals of marketing success, brand identity necessities, how to avoid costly mistakes on some marketing, and then of course set up a pseudo marketing plan. Now this isn't going to go into hours and hours worth of marketing planning. This is just a blueprint for marketing planning. Okay? Will? All right. So again, here's the interactive part for our presentation today. What words or phrases do you associate with the term branding? Audience participation, please.
Colors.
Colors. All right. Good start.
Identity.
Identity. Great. What else?
Logo.
Logo. Keep going. We got a lot to cover.
Colors.
Okay. Colors. You said that.
Trademarks, copyright.
Trademarks, copyright. Sure.
Something that when somebody sees it, they think of your company and they think of you.
Right. Identity. Good. What else?
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase. Tag phrase. Right.
Jingle.
Jingle. Could be a jingle. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So branding. And here's where I think a number of people that, unless you understand what branding is and what marketing is, you can kind of get these two interchanged or sometimes even confused. But branding really aims to establish a significant and differentiated presence in the market that attracts and retains loyal customers. So if you think about your brand and how it stacks up against maybe others in your competing industries, this is where things really start taking shape. Branding is the act of communicating a position, and marketing is the act of promoting and selling. Two differentiating things. You have to have branding first before you can really be effective at marketing. Okay, so here's another thing. Branding further defined. Having brand means something belongs to you, and your brand is an unmistakable identity that is uniquely yours. Now, in the 20 years I've been doing this, I find it fascinating to me how many businesses I run into that just slap something together, put it on a letterhead, put it on a business card, put it on their website, put it on whatever, and call it their brand. When I say their brand, they think it's unique to them. I want to point this out here. I'm not saying which website I found this off, but you can go to websites, and many of them are out there right now. Hey, choose whichever one of these you want. We'll slap your name to it, and we'll call it yours. They call this branding. That is not branding, right? Because we're going to get into a few more slides about why this is not branding. Versus someone over here like deck builders. They make decks and pergolas. Now you go to the home and garden show, you go to any trade show, you go to a number of these convention center shows, and you'll see a lot of builders and then you'll see a lot of builders, you'll see a lot of general contractors that have the roof line, have the windows, have the they'll have something that looks like something that looks similar to this, and they'll call it their unique brand. Right? How unique is that? It's not really. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. Does your brand exude professionalism, and is it uniquely yours? Right. So that is one of the first questions I want to ask everyone in the room and anyone watching this video. Is your brand uniquely yours, and is it professional? Does it exude professionalism? Next. All right, now when we talk about what branding is, what words or phrases do you associate with brand equity? Again, audience participation.
Does it have to do that it takes time to build that brand?
Could be. It does take some time to build brand equity, but when you think about the word equity, what does that usually signify?
From an accounting perspective, it would mean something that your company is, it stands alone and, it embodies the whole piece of it. So like from my feeling on this is your company and this is what you're doing, this is who you are.
Part of the value of excellence. Value. When you think about the value of your company, there are a number of businesses out in the marketplace right now that beyond what they sell as a widget or service, they have zero brand equity. What I mean by this is that does the brand itself, if you were to sell it right now, like Joe Mama's, my friends here from Joe Mama's, their logo, their identity, and what they're building, and what their future clients, what their future customers are worth, is what brand equity is all about. So if you don't have a brand that first of all has a recognizable and unique identity, but also doesn't have brand equity, you're just slapping another logo on a piece of paper and calling it yours. Okay? All right. Not uncommon to a lot of people here, right? So Amazon, Android, brand equity really truly is the value. Jeff said it, right? Value associated with a particular brand. All right. So how is brand equity determined? We talked about this: value, quality, trust, loyalty. And again, if we're going to use Joe Mama's here, this is what they're working very, very hard at doing, bringing salsa into the marketplace, in the Twin Cities marketplace, and hopefully expanding that into much deeper relationship, marketing, into different areas. Okay. The other thing too is perception, identity, and awareness. If there is a perceived value into something, right? So if we go back to Amazon or Mac or any of the other big brands there too, the identity is recognizable. When you see that Apple, you know automatically that's a Mac. You see Amazon, you see the little smiley thing, you just know that's Amazon. Okay. Keep going. So the better question is, how do you create a brand that has value? And I think if most of you are either entrepreneurs or working for companies that don't necessarily have a brand right now, this is an important question to ask yourself or take back to your headquarters and talk about. All right. In branding, I have put these together as 3 unbreakable rules in branding. Because if your brand does not have these 3, it's not really truly a good brand. First of all is connection. Connection is a recognizable identity that leaves a favorable impression with your audience, right? So Joe Mama's, take this for instance. The logo, the taste of the salsa, and everything like that. It's a connection. You have to have a connection. It's a recognizable identity. Same thing along with that. And if you look at these brand boards over to my left and your right, these brand boards have the continuity. Sorry for the ladies out in the area there. So brand boards I have up on the board here show that in everything that they're doing, they have brand continuity because they're going to use the same colors in the brochures as they do their print ads, as they do their web stuff, as they do their video stuff. Same thing with their typography, their fonts. Same thing with their patterns and textures. This is all continuity. And then the third thing is the creativity. This is where I see a lot of brands fall short. Brands fall short here on this because the creativity, unmistakable and unique. Keyword here is unique identity. That belongs to you solely to your organization. It's not shared with other companies. Going back to my example about the roof lines and the houses and things with the builders, there's really nothing unique about any of them because they're all using kind of the same thing. It doesn't really brand them differently. Next slide. All right. So here's another pop quiz. Which brand below is an example of professional branding? Some of you might think, well, is this really a trick question here, or is this? The answer is both of them. Believe it or not, this Family Achievement Center logo was developed 10 years ago by another company that calls themselves a professional branding company. Okay. Here's the story behind this. Go to the next slide. Professional logo consists of more than just a logo, right? So they're using this they're using their brand in everything. So envelopes, letterhead, bill cards, business cards, everything like that. The story behind this company was that they, for 10 years, were using the same logo. Business cards, brochures, marketing, everything like that. They would even go to trade shows. They help families and individuals with needs that vary from, auditory, physical impairments, mental handicaps. And they were knocking on the door for Gillette Children's Hospital for 10 years. Hey, can we get in? Can we get in with you guys? Because we actually do some things that are really specialized that you don't do. And for 10 years, guess what Gillette did? What was it doing? Lo and behold, we rebranded them. New website, new video, new photography, new brands, new everything. New trade show display. Guess who shows up at the trade show? Gillette Children's Hospital. This now turned their business from being, we're trying to pursue our clients, now into they're actually pursuing us. The difference between a professional and good brand versus a brand that is just slapped together and put together, it's a huge difference. That one account has now landed them many, many millions of dollars just because of that. You think they're happy? Huge. Next. 5 essential elements for consistent branding. As I kind of already outlined, and some of you have already said too, a logo, first of all, obviously a logo is key to every brand. It's essential. And then also versions of this too, a standalone and logo variations. If you look at these brand boards over here, you notice that there's one color variations, and so for some of these, I don't know, Bill, if you can get this on this over here. And for the ladies out in the hall. Okay? Andres, one of our fun clients because they make a European pastry roll. And this is actually made in Hinckley, Minnesota, out of Toby's. People have gotten to Toby's on their way up to the North Shore. Okay? So the gentleman who was actually running this business for, 20, 30 years out of his home decided he wanted to retire, but he wanted someone to take his brand, take his branding, take his product, and bring it to a bigger market so he could essentially retire. So what we did is we came up with the new look and feel of Andres. And now this brand is in Lunds and Byerly's and is looking to be housed now in Coborn's and other grocery markets. So kind of not unlike Joe Mama's here, who's getting into the different markets. Yep. But the other thing too is you'll notice that the branding, right? So there's the one color logo, and there's the different ones for the coffee seed and the walnut, and different logo variations within the original logo. Okay. Same thing with color palette, patterns and textures, and typography. Again, all follow consistently within all the branding they do and all the marketing moving forward. All right. The importance of having a professional brand. I can't tell you how many times that I've asked this one question to a lot of businesses. How confident are you when you hand up your business card to someone and say, hi, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so? How confident are you? Your brand and everything about your brand should exude professionalism, should communicate confidence, and also have a perceived value. Okay? So there's a perceived value with every one of our businesses here in this room. What is your perceived value? All right. Got time for a questionnaire. This is the fun part. In front of you, you should have had a questionnaire that's on one sheet of paper, but it's 2 sides. And this is just going to be a quick, 3 minutes, just because of time. I think we're doing good at the time. We're doing good. Yeah. So we'll take 3 to 5 minutes here. We'll fill this out, and this is just a gut level reaction. This is meant to be fun too. This is not meant to be critical of anyone's brand or logo in here. This is just to kind of get the wheels turning and get you thinking about your own branding, your own logo, your own whatever you're doing for marketing. So why don't we take about 3 to 5 minutes here, fill that out, and then we'll share some answers when we're done.
Sure.
You like it? instead of silence.
Oh, and great, yeah, that's a great idea.
We'll just keep it looping, right?
I had a dog that every time that song played, she knew it was dinner time, she would bite.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, yes,
Love
Aunt
song.
Lizzie Ted wants to go to the Jeopardy theme song was the padlock.
It's Raiders and yeah. There's no spot for a 0 on here. So.
Yeah.
Then you're in trouble. Yeah.
And if you're done, you can just put your pens down, that'll let me know. By the way, I was a former teacher in a former life, yeah, so art educator for 4 years. And so, yeah, tests were always kind of fun quizzes and things like that. So try to incorporate a little bit of that into my presentation. Not bad for fun, huh? Not bad.
Yeah. You want me to add or show you the whip? Saw that coming a mile away when you said that. I was like 7 when you said it too. I'm like, don't show him the, no. He's gonna run on the guy. Wait, he made a big mistake there though. Not having, he got the,
How we doing? Anyone need more time? Another minute?
don't be right.
Exercise, that's the fun part.
Alright, just getting finished up, looks like. We'll actually get going just because I have a few more slides we gotta get through here before questions and answers. So, on that, who would like to share? And by the way, again, there is no right or wrong answers. This is not, someone putting the hammer down on you or whatever. This is fun sharing. This is just like, hey, let's have fun with this and just, or is there a question within this questionnaire that you find was like telling or like, oh wow, we should really look at this? Just feel free to share. So go ahead, anyone. David.
I want to give myself close to a 0, but not that I'm confident in what I do. I like what I do. It's just that I left the brokerage industry to start financial planning practice, and it's really just all personal relationships. And so I don't know, I know that it doesn't matter. I mean, gotta do this stuff too if I want to grow more. But just, it was a priority. It's like, okay, well, I got a referral here or there, and that's it. So.
Great point, and I want to bring this up because there is no judgment here whatsoever in this room about some businesses they only ever aspire to be just that, have that relationship, and they don't need to be marketing to the masses. But for the majority of entrepreneurs and businesses that do need to attract, clients and new members within their, what they're doing, branding is exceptionally important because it is the foundation where everything's building on. So great comment, yeah. I'm done.
I gave myself an 87,
Okay.
but I think the one that I had the least amount of points was the number 7. We have clearly defined brand standards and like the whole patterns, textures, variations of logo. I don't have variations of my logo. It's either black and white or that. So
Sure.
And
So
then-
maybe there's a little room for working on that.
Right.
Yeah. Who else? Ed?
When I do mine, I always enter my card and I always smile. It always breaks the ice. But I need, like, there's about a couple of them here, I'm on number one, so.
Sure.
Look, it's a good thing I came today.
Yeah. Well, it's at least, it's an eye opener into the different things where you may have some really good strengths going on in your brand, but then it shows maybe where some things can be worked on. One last one, anyone, more comments? Ladies out in the hall, comments?
It's really hard to hear, but
Oh,
I
is
was
it?
like, figuring out here.
Okay, well, anyone else? No? Okay, yeah.
Certainly work on our business strategy.
Okay.
We need to think with our real goals.
All right. So how do you avoid costly mistakes? And this is the part of the presentation too where you can hone in. Now take a look at some of these very bad logo mistakes.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Now this isn't indicative of every logo and brand out there, but I showed it just to yeah. And this is sometimes the difference when you go with the professional graphic designers out there, the people out there, versus the brand design. Okay.
Yeesh.
How do you create a brand that has value? Again, that's the ongoing question we're asking. How do you create a brand that has value?
Definitely memorable.
I'll send the PowerPoint after we're done. Exactly. It's in the
Wow. Those are real?
Those are real
No, come on.
epic failure logos.
Somebody lost their job too.
Yeah, someone lost their job over those, I'm sure.
Wasn't put through the water.
So brand design decisions, right? So these are important considerations that I put together. Again, whether you're hiring a firm like us, like Keech Media, or someone out there, these are the design considerations you want to look at and qualify your people, right? So first of all, does the cost that fits within business models regardless of size? Okay, I come from a lot of ad agency work back in my days in Minneapolis. Carmichael, Lynch, Campbell, Martin Lemons, Periscope, Olsen, worked with all these agencies. They will look at a lot of you in this room for less than $50,000. Who has that for you, right? So make sure that whoever you're pursuing here, make sure who you're pursuing here can work with you regardless of the size of the budget, right? Second thing, timeline, and I love this one because I hear this all the time. We started this project back in March 1st or whatever, and all of a sudden came April. Then it kept dragging on to May, and then into June, and then pretty soon, oh my gosh, this thing was just an absolute disaster. There's no defined timelines because there's no proven process. And within a proven process, can your brand design team take you from point A to whatever point on the scale, walk you through that consistently, no matter who you are, no matter what client, no matter what industry, no matter who you are throughout this entire process. A proven process, meaning that we have guaranteed results, we have proven results that we've taken multiple clients through the same process over and over again. Rather than, hey, let's just shoot from the hip, see what sticks, see if you like it, we'll make that work. Because I know a lot of people out there are doing it. Same thing with expertise. Design team that's going to give you what you need rather than appeasing a person or two in the organization. And I run into this a lot as well. Where there's someone who says, hey, I love mustard yellow, and that's the color I want to use in my branding palette. Everyone else in the room is like, no. Because mustard yellow, first of all, that guy likes that. That's the color most people say, oh, well, okay, here, then we'll give you mustard yellow. Rather than doing the research, rather than doing the psychology behind colors and knowing what a good color palette is, just because you like yellow doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to use it. It just means that we'll probably use a different shade of yellow to make sure it's consistent with all the other colors, right? So they're going to give you what you need rather than what you want. And then the final product, is it a unique look and feel? Again, is it something specifically tailored to what you need, and does it give you a unique look and feel? All right, so there's 3 myths that I put up here for branding. First myth is, I'll hire the local print shop. Now, don't get me wrong. I will talk to you about the print shops and some of these other myths here in just a second about why you should use them and why you shouldn't. But first of all, here's kind of the thinking. There are some great print shops out there that will do great. Most people who want to hire the local print shops, say, I'll hire someone I know, create my new brand identity, I'll end up saving some money, I'll support someone local. I'll probably even get good quality product because this is what they went to school for. Okay. Well, here's the facts. By definition, designers are not brand designers. And if there were some in this room here, right? I don't know the ladies here, or, you know, I know just about everyone else in the room. Print designers, right? Well, we have the newspaper here, we have Rivertown. Print designers, I even have some on my team. They're awesome people, but they're not necessarily brand designers. Brand designers understand means shaking, nodding your head. Print designers can take a lot of these logo elements and put them into layout and design and things like that. But here's the one thing I want you to watch out for. Buyer beware. Unlimited revisions. Remember that little timeline thing that I said? Started in March. Now we're going into April. Now we're going into June and May and whatever else. May and June. Unlimited revisions, to me, is big, automatic, timeout, red flag. Buyer beware on this one. Because if you have to have unlimited revisions to getting you what you should have, it's going to take you a long time and you're probably not going to be really happy with it in the end. Brand designers also design for consistency across all aspects of your brand, including like embroidery, like logos that you're wearing up here, hats, things like that, video. Brand designers also follow a proven process to design brands with reliable results. All right. Mr. Brain, Fiverr. How many of you have heard of Fiverr before? How many of you use Fiverr? Don't be shy. It's okay. Fiverr is this unique design community out on the internet right now that is, people are saying it's way cheaper to use. And on some things, you may find some good results using Fiverr. However, I will tell you something, a horror story about Fiverr here in just a second. And here's maybe some of the reasons why you would use Fiverr. I'll hire someone from Fiverr, do it, save a lot of time, good turnaround time. I don't know exactly what I want, but I know when I'll see it. I hear that too. I don't know what I want right now, but I'll go through the unlimited revisions and take someone's time to try to get to the end of wherever that leads us. My logo will be unique, and I'll be really proud of it. I want to pause there. How unique are you really going to get a logo from Fiverr? Let's go to the next slide. I'll show you. Folks, I am not making this up. I am not making this up at all. This is a client that came to me 7 months ago, talked to me about rebranding, talked to me about video, talked to me about doing everything like that. Not only did we take this and brand them into something differently, but now, just last month, came across Hill Cities. Same logo. Where did they get it from? What Fiverr does, and this is probably one of these little bait and switch techniques, that I'm not saying they do it for every one of these, but they use this. And the one guy that says, hey, I'm gonna make some money, I'm gonna go into Fiverr, I'm gonna get this brand, and they give him a whole sheet of like logos to choose from. Here, let's pick this one. Let's put a name on it, slap it together, here you go. Same thing happened here. I kid you not. My jaw just about dropped to the floor when I saw this. Yeah.
Never used Fiverr, but 99 Design, have you heard of them before? Where you just kind of pick a line for the logos, and then you have like a bunch of college students just kind of sending in their.
Yep. There's a lot of these online communities. They're cropping up everywhere, and it's going to be kind of this rise and fall because a lot of people are catching on to this stuff too. And again, I'm not saying that don't use these guys for anything. I'm just saying that if you want something unique, you want something custom, and you want something personalized that's going to give you brand equity in the long run, this is not the way to go. All right, now, some of my favorite people. Do-it-yourselfers. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get exactly what I want. My branding ideas come from me anyway, so why should I hire someone to do it, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to write it on the back of a cocktail napkin. I'm going to scan it in, and we're going to call this my logo. I've seen this happen too. All right? Again, not putting anyone down about this, but here's some things about. Okay. That doing it yourself is always more costly. Now, when it comes to things, unless you are educated and you have brand design experience in your background, in your repertoire, I find that most times, unless you know what you're doing, you will always spend more time learning how to do it yourself, right? There's people that are self-educated, and I'm one of them too, on certain things. On the things that I know, hey, I can do an oil change on my car, I'll educate myself on to do that if I really want to do that. When it comes to brand design, this takes years of experience. This takes training your eye to know what's right and what's wrong, right? Most likely you'll end up with something that looks substandard or amateur, because I've seen that a lot. And do-it-yourselfers usually have tunnel vision based on, again, personal preferences versus what you really need and what's connecting with your eyes. And you could end up becoming really frustrated because you're wasting time and resources that you could otherwise be spending doing what you're really, really good at. All right, so avoid costly mistakes. Nearing the end of the presentation here, all successful marketing hinges on a professional-looking brand. Make sure your brand is solid before spending another dime on your marketing. And here's where I'm going with this. There are businesses out there right now that, unbeknownst to them, are actually trademark and copyright infringing on others. I don't want to get into the whole legal aspect of this because that's a whole other lunch and learn seminar and everything about the legal ramifications. If you're using someone else's logo or something that looks similar to them, guess what happened to Amazon? There was a bookstore right downtown St. Paul called Amazon, not too long ago. Jeff Bezos got a call, and he got called by this bookstore in St. Paul saying, hey, we're called Amazon too. We were here first. Guess who had the legal right? The bookstore. Bezos had to cough up a lot of money. Now buy out that bookstore, pay these guys off, and now put into put Amazon out in the marketplace and call it their own. You do not want to make the costly mistakes of putting your brand in or making the mistake of a mistaken identity with another one, right? You get what you pay for. Good branding and good marketing help take creativity, time, and resources to implement. Make sure your budget for good marketing and include brand design too. Another thing, have clearly defined timelines if you're hiring someone for this. If you're hiring someone, again, those timelines can start creeping out. Those expectations can start moving out there. And pretty soon you have this project that was only supposed to take this much amount of time, now has gone to this much. Also, look for a portfolio of work. Are these people experienced? Do they have a portfolio and do they have references you can call? And then interview your designer or design team to make sure they have a proven process. Can they take you from starting point to ending point and pretty much have, say, satisfaction rate is 100% because we have everyone going through this process over and over again and they all give us the thumbs up on this and they love it. Right? All right, excuse me just a second. All right, how does your structure, how you structure your marketing often compares to building a home. In a marketing plan, a lot of businesses don't go to this point. They put a logo together, they put it on a business card, they put something together and they hand it out, and they don't really put a whole lot of time and effort into branding. Would it surprise you that if I build my home, that I need a blueprint first of all? I know I need to have a plan of knowing where these joists are going to go, where my concrete foundation is going to get poured and everything else. This, really, I have taken this model right here and I have simplified your marketing plan down to the most basic, elemental, fundamental pieces right here. So this is your marketing plan. It starts with the foundation, and if your foundation is not built on concrete, right? So if I'm standing here and I'm standing on sand, and these posts are, we're building our structure on sand, pretty soon a heavy wind or a big wave of water is going to come crashing over this thing. It's going to come crashing down. Foundational to every marketing plan has got to be your brand. If your brand is not solid, if your brand is not the foundational piece that is holding the rest of your structure up, then the only thing you have to do is hope that it's going to stand the test of time. If you build a structure that's on a concrete foundation, it's going to have a much better likelihood of staying up. Equal to that is your website. Your brand and your website are the most foundational pieces to all of your branding, your marketing, everything. And the other thing too is it used to be, case about 20 years ago, you could open up phone book and say, hey, I can find a plumber here, I can find 15 plumbers. Not anymore. Your website and your brand, again, two most foundational pieces, because every other thing that you spend money on up here, I don't care if you spend a ton of money on print ads, you go to a lot of networking events, you go to, you do networking, or if you put on events or whatever it is. If your branding and your website is not key, then you are, or is not the foundational pieces on this, you can be spending a lot of money and only getting mediocre results every single time you go do any of these things, right? And then the covering. The covering over all of this is really your strategy. Strategy is a well-defined document that outlines your marketing goals and associated budgets for each strategy. If you don't have that, if you don't have a roof over your structure, what's going to happen? Rain, sunlight, wind, everything else is going to come and topple the structural overlay. And I see so many businesses that don't have a strategy for their business, for their marketing. So there's your blueprint for marketing success. We are wrapping up now, and we have about, I think, roughly about 10, 12 minutes. My suggestions to this group and anyone watching this is to, first of all, start with the watching the Simon Sinek video. How many first have seen this video or know what I'm talking about? Okay, a handful of you. Simon Sinek is he's an author, he's a speaker, and he's was, I think, first featured on TED Talks. In TED Talks, he talks about starting with your why. And here's an interesting conversation or thought to have when you're going about your data. Everyone in this room, 100% of you, know what you do. Only some of you know how you do it, but very few, if any, know why. Going back to the why of why anyone goes into business, it's not for, making a bunch of money and I'm going to be a millionaire. It's not about that. Your why is really about what are you so passionate about that it drives you to get out of bed every single morning. And sometimes you really got to think about this. The why that most people put in front of their business is, well, I'm going to make $1 million, I'm going to retire, sip margaritas on the beach, and that's going to be, and that's not your why. A lot of people think it is. So watch this video. 2 is review your entire brand, either with your team or your design team. Talk about this. Talk about, hey, how can we make improvements on this? How can we do things differently? Or how can we get some brand guidelines put together? At least that is a first step. So then we can carry this message consistently throughout our entire marketing. Create a marketing strategy using the house building model that I just showed you. And it's on your handouts there. And then utilize Keech Media for additional resources. Now, I have a 3-page budget planner for anyone who emails me. So what I want you to do is, if you're interested in getting this email to you, it's a 3-page budget planner. It has every single marketing tactic or strategy you can talk about. Here's graphic design, advertising design, website, online presence, photography, video, mass media advertising, print advertising, events, public relations. It has every line item on here. If you don't have a marketing budget in place, you should. And you should get this. On the comment cards that I handed out that look again like this, what I'd like you to do is, if you would just fill this out, leave it behind or give it to me or put it on this table over here before you leave, and put some comments on it too. I really appreciate hearing, hey, I really wanted to hear more about this, I really like this part. Any feedback helps me become a better presenter and put more of these together to give you better information next time. Okay? So I really appreciate that. And if you want me to email you this budget planner, put it on there, okay? Now I'm going to open it up for questions and comments and thoughts about, yes. Zach.
So you're talking about the structure right here, right?
Yeah.
Say you've got an idea for a business. You kind of get an idea for a name too. So the first thing you suggest would be buy that domain, get that website started, and then you go to branding, right? You've got an idea. I mean, both at the same time are very important, but you've got a limited budget. It's an idea that you're not really sure if it's going to go anywhere. You want to start out the most effective ways. So it would be a website and then probably a logo, and then kind of move with the brand. Because I mean, assume something like that would be a lot more than what you really want to spend on an idea.
great question. So, hey, can you go back a couple other slides to the, yeah, right here. So what I probably could have drawn a little differently here is actually put the website kind of the next tier up. Because again, foundational to everything. If you don't start with a brand, if you don't start with an identity to build off of, you are now just slapping things together. Hey, we're gonna put this website together, it's gonna look like this, we're gonna throw a logo here. But then you come back to the brand and start doing things now that's different than what you have up on the website. And then you gotta redo this and make it look like that. So save yourself the time and the money and the resources. Do it right the first time, start with your brand.
Okay.
Yes.
So what part of the brand would you start first if you have a very, very limited budget? You're not really sure if this is just a hobby or gonna actually turn into a business.
Wow, that's a great question. Okay, so, and define hobby versus define.
Brewing beer. You think about opening a brewery, you would like to brew beer, you do it with friends, and you're like, you know what, this could be something.
I think at the point or at the time that you know that this is actually gonna take off and this is something, most businesses, most aspiring entrepreneurs say, I'm gonna bite the bullet, I'm gonna do this. I can't tell you when that's going to be, but what I would say is save up some money to do this right, to hire the right people, hire professionals to do it. I don't know if that answers your question totally, but.
So you're saying kind of go through the whole thing. There's not like, you don't just kind of try to get the logo together, just kind of get something, a Band-Aid kind of stuff.
No, because guess what? You hand that business card out now to 5, 10, 15 people. They get to know that brand, and all of a sudden they see this new thing over here, and it's like, oh my gosh, is this the same? Am I looking at is this still Zach? Is this your?
That answers the question. Thank you.
So you need a business plan. Financing for everything.
Yeah.
The struggle with starting with the brand, finish the website, and I don't know if you can start one before the other, because so many domain names are taken now to get the great domain name that matches your brand. If you pick a great, perfect brand, anything good as a domain name may not be available. So I kind of agree with what you have there. You kind of have to do them together, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, great question. So when you pick out a name, thanks. So when you pick out a name, the names, again, everything about your brand, starting off with your name, your colors, your logo, the patterns, everything, should be unique and specific to you. If you want to call it xyzabc.com, and that domain name has already been taken, I highly suggest you making that your brand or doing some research first to make sure that xyzabc.com is not competing with you. Now, there are completely different industries that have like ABC 1, 2, 3, and there's a builder over here, and there's a grocery market, whatever, I don't know, something totally different. Now, in a legal sense, these people are marketing to this kind of audience over here, and these people are marketing to this kind of audience. They can coexist within that realm. I'm not giving you legal advice, by the way, so talk to your brand attorney. That's not what I'm here for. But you can always get around domain names, and I found creative ways to get around domain names that would help supersede that.
Well, and one other thing from a division of corporations, when you're setting up your business is Minnesota only allows one name. I mean, you can do a DBA, but you don't really want to be a DBA, you want to be your name. So that is a good place to start too. I mean, each state allows, like, there can be 50 of whatever the name is, but there can only be one CPA partners in Minnesota.
Sorry. Michael, did you have a question?
I just had a little, with the limited budget thing, I just had a thought about that. It's just like, with your branding, or while you're saving up for that, it's like, thinking about like that documentation of your goals and who you are as, thinking about your why and getting that written down could be a great place to start, because that can translate. You can do research on the different things, the different ways that translates into your visual identity.
Absolutely. London.
So you mentioned make sure your designers have a process in place. What does that look like? Or give me like a few points about that.
Okay, so within our approving process, first of all, we start off with a questionnaire. Someone comes to Keech Media and says, we want to redesign our logo, we want to redesign our brand. We start off with a questionnaire that it's a 3-page questionnaire that takes about 20 to 30 minutes of time.
I remember now. Okay.
And out of that, what we're going to do, and most people know what Pinterest is, right? What we do is we take a lot of ideas out on Pinterest. So some existing things that are out there already. We're playing off of what's already been created, so we already have a good idea of knowing, hey, if this logo that we're looking at looks very similar to this, we kind of want to, you know, do a variation of that and make it really unique. So we start off with all these ideas and funnel them down into the final piece that is the finished piece, and it usually takes about 3 revisions and we're done. Most often 2, and that's it. And that proven process we have done 100% all the time, over and over again, with guaranteed results. Good questions? Okay. Well, okay, thank you everyone for coming today. I really, again, appreciate your time. I'll be around afterwards if you have any other questions and available for comments.
We want to take time now to thank Nate for sharing his ideas with us this afternoon. And if you know of any other people who would like to see this presentation, or if you think it would be beneficial, it will be up on our YouTube channel by Monday, I would think, right?
Later today.
Yeah, and so you can come in and you go to the Office Center's YouTube channel. We'll send it out with This Week at Office Centers next week. So anybody that you want to see the presentation, you can forward it on to them. Or if you missed something by being out in the hall where there were airplane engines going on out there, you might want to review some of the other things. We'll make sure that you get an extra copy as well. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Remember that we have, one thing I'm going to remind all of you at Woodbury, when we registered today, there were 11. Where'd the rest of you come from? You're very good at showing, we think it's good at showing up. We'll make sure that we have more room next time because we have the Taste of Woodbury coming up in April on which day, the 16th? We have some different meeting groups that are coming over the next couple of weeks. Make sure that you sign up so we can plan to have you. We got down to the last pieces of pizza today, and thanks. We used Bella Pizza today, which is another one of your businesses, one of the Joe Mama guys' businesses. So it's all good. And thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Feel free to hang out in the co-working space if you want to. Spend the afternoon. We'd love to have you try it out and you'll like it. Thank you so much for coming.